Hello. Hi there, and welcome. And you see, there's a few changes that we made because we have used another streaming platform kind of thing. So yeah, it's a little bit different. So it's also a little bit different for me on the driver's seat. So yeah, how's everyone doing? So yeah, let me see if I can see anybody in the chat. So yeah, I can't hear you basically, but I would be able to see from the chat if you would like to talk to me. If my sound is too loud, not clear enough, whatever, let me know because we are testing. So yeah, oh, I'm not showing you the best view, is it? Yeah, so uh, actually today I wanted to talk about the Python client because we have done a lot of good stuff this week. So just to let you know what's our progress, because yeah, we actually decided to really clean up a lot of things in the Python client. So it's make it easier for people to, if you want to dive in and contribute, it's like much easier. So I would give you more detail in a bit, but first of all, it's very obvious that I've updated the front page, kind of like added the logo, this like beautiful, beautiful banners. Some of them are covered or like cover it over from the other repo, which hey Luke, yes, Luke also. I think Luke did a lot of this like kind of banner thing for the other repo, so I just copy it over. Also, like you can see that we now have code coverage. That's something that we have added. So now, if you send a pull request, actually, like there will be code coverage running. So if you have write some new test, then we'll see that. Yay, you have done a good job. But if you have, um, put in something, add something in, and if you haven't written the code, we would also be able to see, like, if you haven't written the test, or like, then we will see that as well. I have cleaned up all the make files. So again, like, these stores all these like useful commands that you could do. Just add it up. Oh yeah, oh, by the way, the pip env is a little bit messed up. I think yesterday before I go to bed at 2 a.m. I found this like, yeah, but I would solve it later today. Also the other things that I've done, also I've made the contributing.md more obvious how to do. I've updated it, like how to install the pre-commit hook and all the stuff. So yeah, so it's basically much needed to clean up for that. And also, like you can see now, I've also cleaned up the read the doc thing because we decided to use GitHub Pages for our Python client documentation. Of course, everything is linked to our mega, database documentation as well. So don't worry if you can't find it. You just go to our website, go to our documentation, you would get there. Yeah. So that's it. And also, there's something that's work in progress that's not shown on the GitHub repo. Oh, by the way, our GitHub repo, I can actually now. Hey, hello, Vivek. Hey, how are you? Yeah. So, yeah, I can also show you that. Yeah. So this is our Python client repo. So if you want to have a look at what we are at right now, go there. Also, oh, by the way, before I moved on to the development, I want to show you also, like, we have streamline a lot of things. For example, now if you open a new issue that we would, let's look at the closed one. Is it because I think I've made a test one. Yeah, so now it will like automatically add a triage label. So we want to make all these like kind of things. So we'll be able, basically this is all helping us to get to have a look at your issues or your pull requests much faster. So yeah, we're putting some effort in it. So just want people to be able to do stuff with us much easier. Like we also, these cards will be added to the project. So we will review it regularly. So don't worry, we will always see your issues. So just to make sure that, if you have any questions or like things, even if you're not sure it's a bug, you can even open an issue, we'll have a look. That's also discussion. We haven't figured out like what we should do with it yet, but this is a GitHub beta thing, so we decided that maybe it's something that we could try using. We are now using projects, so you can see a Python client roadmap here. We also have a maker one at our main repo. You see, this is like a new yeah, well, no, this is just the rule. So like any new ticket will come in here, and then like when we close it, then you see it's done. This one is just the trial one, so it yeah. But you can also see what we're doing at the moment, so you can see that we are really working on things. But of course, this is just for the Python client. We also have the big one here in our main repo, in the Terminus DB repo, that we also have discussion. We also have projects. Not here, but because we open it at the top level, right? So this is our organization. So we have organizational project. So you can see that these are the the boards that we have. So you can see that it's like this is the top level, right? So we can link it to different repos. So all your issues will come in. Like we won't be able to miss it because it will be appearing in all the boards. So roadmaps is like if you're curious, this is like not the issues, but like more like general direction where we're going. Even like some community activities, there are tickets in it as well. So if you're curious, feel free to have a look. So this is a new thing. So okay, now let's get to the meat of the of this streaming today. So let's switch my screen. So I gotta do a little bit of again, like this is my first time in the driver's seat, so things would be a little bit different. So I'm trying to still learning how to drive this car. So yeah, okay. So you now see my my Atom, which is like the thing I use to develop locally. And oh, you haven't seen it yet. Okay, so it's not automatic. Okay, now you see it. Okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm still learning how to drive this car, like I said. So I would actually hide this car so you will see all the code much easier. And I don't know if this is big enough for you to see. So again, give me a shout in the chat if it's too small or anything. Then I will try to make it bigger. Like, yeah. The good thing about this new tool is that I have a picture-in-picture. So now you can see that I am kind of right at the, I have a little window on the right-hand side. So, the window, like the code is still like having the whole screen. So you can still see it, hopefully, much better, but you can still see me kind of if you want to see me. So I don't have to choose one or the other, which is a good thing. So, okay. We are doing a lot of work. So this is our dev branch, which I haven't pushed yet because I guess I can push it now because we have just fixed a test this morning. Yeah, this morning actually. So yeah, so I haven't pushed it up yet, but now, yeah, at least it will pass the test. But we have done so many things. That's why like we have to also fix the test. We have, so this is just WOQL query that we were working on, but we do finish some work at the WOQL client. So this is like mainly what we have done in the past few days. The idea is that we want to remove this depending on the this patch request, actually. Also this endpoint constant, we don't need it anymore. So we just clean it up so that like it's not so nested. Because remember the sense of Python, so yeah, we actually have a flat structure because it's more simple and it's, more explicit. So like I always said, like we don't have to be Sherlock-om. Yeah, like people who maintain the code or want to contribute to the code doesn't need to be Sherlock-om because everything is so obvious. They don't have to investigate. It's like, oh, where's this function calling and this stuff? So yeah, that's why we try to make it more flat rather than nested. So yeah, so we plug those out and then we basically kind of see what it is used for and like try to get the core of it and make it. So I think I haven't really talked about the Python clients in the past because this is kind of an area that I'm not familiar with. But now I can confidently tell you that because now I can I have go through all of them this week. So yeah, now I know what's going on. So how our client work actually, we are still improving it. We had took a few shortcuts still, but it's much better than before. So like before, we also have the WOQL client. Oh, again, like this development, I think when we push it out because it's a rewrite, we try to bump the version, a major version of this. So we are going to 1.0 finally. But I think we try to also be more backward compatible because our previous user, I don't want them to feel super confused when they go like move the versions. So our WOQL client here, you see that it's just create an object. So this is more or less like a connection object in according to what's that called, PAP 249. So so what we're doing here is just like creating an object that is not connected yet, because you have to call connected. So I think the only thing you do like is to really provide where your server are, because each client should be only connected to one dedicated server. If you have multiple server, then well, you need more than one client object. That's fine. You just create another client object. It's super easy. And then also there's a flag to tell whether it's a secure connection or not. Because we have HTTPS protocol, and a lot of time we run it on localhost, and if we don't put this flag in, then request will flag it up saying like, oh, it's not a secure connection, but actually it's a secure connection. It's just like how this HTTP protocol is arranged, so like it doesn't really detect that if it's a local host, then it's always secure. So I won't go into the detail, but yeah, it's just a flag for you to like bypass that check. So also there's some internal flags that, for example, commit made. There's like for this object I want to really because there's some like new methods that's added in that we let you go back the steps much easier. But also, if you want to really log in your work, you can actually reset the commit that you have made. So I'm counting how much step you have go for each section, and then you can decide to go back. But you can't go beyond, because like the database you are connected, maybe it has some work already done, right? So you don't want to go beyond that because it may be somebody's work. So that's why like I have a flag here just to be extra secure that you won't accidentally erase the work of something that you have no idea. So and then before it's become useful, this connect object become useful, you have to really connect it. So this is a connect method that it will let you to be more specific about like what accounts that you're using. For example, it will be maybe your organization name or your name. It depends. Like if you register an account on Terminus Hub, then you would probably need to use those information, but not right now because you're doing it locally. So everything is just like admin. That's fine. Like if you're running it locally, then it's just admin and root. So you don't have to do any changes. These are the defaults, so you don't have to change it. And repo is also default as local. So if you are using it locally, you don't have to worry about any of these things. You just connect, and that's fine. The only thing that you may want to put it in, maybe is the database that you want to connect to. Because you don't want to start from scratch, you don't want to create a new one, then maybe you want to put in the name of the database. That's the only thing that you need to put in, actually. So you only do it by db equals to something. So is there an example here? Yeah, you just put in like key account user and then the db. Actually, what I would do is that I think even that should be like, maybe even db is optional, so you can even skip it. But like the minimal you need to put it in is just db equals to something. Okay, so that's that. And then this internal stuff, we want to save your settings. So this is what it's doing now. It's connected. Then we would also get all the information from the backend. So this is basically anything dispatch means that it is firing an API call to the backend. So here we are just like just firing a call to get some data, some metadata from the backend, because some of them we need. So we get these informations, capability, add ID. So this is the thing that is from the backend that we need to store here for the client to work. So other things as well. So also this is actually setting like what the author of the commit will be. So either be your username, or if you have logged in to Terminus Hub in your Terminus DB, then it will actually use your account details. So it's kind of like if you commit something on GitHub, you would, your commit would be your name, right? So if you sign into GitHub and if you link it up, then it'll be your name and your email that you, GitHub will hire email, but like you have an option on GitHub to hire email right now, but it's like a recent feature. But before, you always have your email, tied to the commit that you have made. Maybe in the future we also have a option for you to hide your email, but for now you have to really sign it with your email that you have signed up with Terminus Hub. So let's connect. So of course you can connect, you can disconnect. So the way to disconnect is to use close. It doesn't do anything. It's just like close the connection, so you won't. So if you decided I really like not using this anymore, you just close it, and then it won't. You can't carry out anything extra. Like you can't really use it to make commit and all this stuff after. So it's just a way for you to plug it. Like no, I'm not using it anymore. So check connection. This is an internal method that we check whether it's connected. If not, then it will. If you try to do stuff that is only available and is connected, then it will just tell you that it's not available. Don't do that. There will be an error. And also get current commit. This is just again another shortcut for me to get the commit that you are currently at. So it's just some WOQL query here. It is querying the meta graph that we have in the database. So it's called a commit graph. So it's a meta graph that's like it store all the relationship of your commit. So yeah, that's why it's there. Get target commit is used by the rollback feature. So it's like if you want to roll one step back, so what is the commit of the one that's before your current one? If you want to go 2 step back, so what is the 2 step behind? What is that commit? So it's getting that so that we know that which commit to go to for the head to go to. So rollback, it's a new feature that you could now, like if you have just make a query that you updated your graph, you regret that, you want to go back. Now you can do it in the console, but now you can also do it with the Python client simply by just using rollback. Before you can still do it, but you have to write your own, your own WOQL query. That is it could be quite difficult for beginners, but now it's much easier. So it's just a good thing. And what's next is copy. So this is just for making a copy of the WOQL client. Just making a div copy just to make sure that everything is copied over correctly. Nothing fancy. Basic auth is used. It's more like an advanced usage, not advanced because we have 2 authentication methods. So I don't know much about this is more like operational thing, I would say. And get basic auth. Yeah, this is not needed anymore. So let me delete that just to clean it up a bit further. Yeah, there's 2. So it's remote auth and basic auth. So there's 2 authentication methods. And I think most people don't have to do it now. But that's fine for this too. I mean, you don't have to know too much about it because usually you don't have to do these things if you're using locally. Set database is that you want to connect to another database, basically. So you just switch from one database to another. So it's just setting the current database that you are pointing at. Okay. So this is a getter. So it's what database I'm in. So this is the one that you're getting. So setter and getter, kind of. They are pair. So accounts is again a similar thing. You want to know what account you're in and that stuff. And then you can also use it to set your accounts to a different one. But again, most of the time you won't fiddle with it because you're just using a min if you're using it locally. User account, another thing. This is another representation of who the user is. User, I think the difference is that one is used by the online version, one is used by the local version, because you can have a local user that is local, but you can have another name when you are connected to Hub, because you have your login name in Hub, but locally you can be the admin, so it could be different. So there's just 2 versions of it. And REPL is, just I think it's mainly now is toggle between the local and remote REPL. Of course, you can have multiple, Git, you have origin, you have master, and all this stuff. So, but again, like most of the same. If you're running it locally, you just have local for now. Ref is reference pointer. Again, like you don't have to toggle it too much for now. So checkout would be to it's like checkout in Git. Is that you would get the current branch or set the current branch. So you can check out to another branch by putting the name of the other branch in there. Or if you just go check out, it will just tell you what branch you are now in. UID, like again, there's like two kind of way to identify yourself. One is the name that you use locally, one is the name that you use with Terminus Hub. So there's two of them. Resources is again another thing that you kind of a setting that you won't change too much. So these are more advanced stuff. So I won't go into detail because I'm not so sure even. It's like it's something that you need to. I need to understand this like authentication thing, which I haven't dived too much into yet. So set is this is deprecated, so it's the same as connect. So don't use set. It's deprecated, don't use it. But you can still use it if you want. But yeah, it will just have a very annoying warning to tell you not to use it. That's what I added. Create database. This is super useful. So after you have connected, you can choose to not connect to a database. If you do that, you probably want to create a new database. So to create a new database, of course, you have to put in a name, an ID, and also like some authentication, like account, all this stuff. But you can leave it because it would just use the one that at default is the one that you use to connect. So the main thing that you need will be a ID for a database. You can also put in name and a description as well. So it will be set. Otherwise, it will be empty, or we will make something up for you, which is not very pretty. So yeah, so dispatch, again, this is like we are firing an API call to the backend. So now we would tell the database that, hey, we want this new database. Please create a new database for us with all these settings. And now also in the Python object itself, we would also do some like kind of flag updates. We'll update, this stuff. We have now connect to a DB. And it's connected, and we now haven't made any commit because we start from scratch. We just connected and create a new database. Delete database, of course, you can delete the database. If you don't put anything in, the delete database will just delete your current database that you're using. But you can also decide to delete another database by putting in a name. An ID, an ID of another database. So yeah, this is not a very nice example because, but yeah, put in your database and account as well, because there may be multiple database that have the same name but under different account. For example, for the Terminus DB Python client, there's one that is on Terminus DB, but there's also my own fork version that's under Chukting. So yeah, yeah, putting the account as well is well. If you have used GitHub, you understand. Yeah, if you have put in some crazy thing, for example, forget to put in your ID, then there'll be a warning. Actually, it's an error because you haven't put in a name. By the way, yeah. So forget what I said before, because it was the old way of doing it, is that if you don't put in any name, it would delete your current database. But now, instead of doing that, because delete is something that's very serious, we would raise a warning instead. So if you want to delete it, it's like when you delete a repo on GitHub, it will ask you to put in the name of it again. So here, yeah, it's saying that if you really want to delete it, you have to really put in the name. So I'm thinking maybe we should do it like account/name as well, just to make it more secure. To think of it. So what I can do is to account ID. So I would actually put the account here as well. So I think it's called account internally. For use account or account, let me double check. Yeah, account. So this is what we call. It's like your organization. So yeah. So now, yeah, you have to actually put in account/database instead. So it's just to be super secure that you really want to delete it. Actually not slash, but like, database account like that. So Yeah, so just follow the syntax. Okay, okie dokie, it works. And then, yeah, and then we check like, okay, we have an account and then delete it. But actually, it will really delete. Yeah, the accounts you can actually like. I think it will automatically set it to be under your account. Yeah, maybe we want to change that as well. Or yeah, maybe we want to change that as well, just to be very, very sure. The account ID in which database reside. Yeah. So, yep. And then, yeah, I would do the same, or account is none. Let's say account ID is none. Now these two are actually they are needed. So this is saying optional because we do the error handling ourselves rather than let Python do is saying like, oh, value error, you haven't put in there. But yeah, now we are just like handling our own error, so that's fine. And then we just do a self user ID equals to this. Okay, because if it's none, then it would just raise the warning here. And then we force delete it. Well, you can also not force delete it. So yeah, there's a flag there. So the default is not true, so you won't be doing anything. So anything -f is dangerous, so it won't be the default. So, create graph. Create new graph. So graph is more like advanced usage. Because usually all database come with two graphs, like an instance graph and a schema graph, and that's all you need. But there will be time that you may need to have extra graphs, and then you would be using create graph. But that's more advanced usage, so we won't put too much, worry too much about it. Delete graph is again the same thing. Get triple is basically getting a triple, kind of like make a query, but the result will be back in a turtle format. So again, advanced usage, I won't worry too much. Update triple as well, I haven't used it that much, is like quite advanced. Updates the contents of the specific graph with the triple and code it in turtle format. So if you are not using turtle format, don't worry, just use the WOQL query. Unless you are like importing some turtle, then you can use update triples. But I won't mess with it, to be honest. Yeah, that's not what I would love to do it. Insert triple again, like if you're using turtle format, feel free to do it. For me, it sounds more advanced and it's not like the recommended way to do it. We recommend that you use WOQL query. Yeah, CSV. So this is letting you to download a CSV that you have previously uploaded on Terminus DB, because you can store a CSV in Terminus DB. So this is letting you to get it. So yeah, so it's just like checking the checking some path that you've put in. So I think you have to put in where you want to save it, the name of the file. If you haven't put in the directory, you just save wherever it is. I think this is, if I can, like, it doesn't really matter that much, but if I can redesign it now, I'll just take in a path, because I think most people who code and who do Python like comfortable using path, but I don't know why it's this way. But now you can put in name and the directory separately. Yeah, but if you just put in name, that's fine. You just save in your the same directory, the same, like the current working directory, I guess. That it will be there. Yeah, if it's not, then it will get the current working directory. Update CSV is it's the same thing, but it's like updating the content of the graph. So you just put in the CSV there, and it will be updated. I don't know why I said turtle all the time. It's supposed to be CSV. Maybe this one needs some fixing. insert CSV, this will be, I think it will be appending. So it's like adding stuff, adding CSV to it rather than replacing it. Commit is the same as query. So let's look at query first. So what query does is actually like what is going on if you make a WOQL query. If you have used WOQL query before, you have .execute, right? So .execute actually would use the client that you pass in and then call the query in this client. So basically, it's firing a query to the backend. You would obviously need to put in a WOQL query, either is a dictionary or a WOQL query object. Okay. So it will fire the query, and then also there's optional commit message, because if your query is making a commit, making an update to the graph, then you can have a custom commit message. Also it can be a file, because like you can upload CSV, right? So things like that. So commit is doing exactly the same thing. It's just calling the query, but it will reset all the commit that, like the count of the commit that you have made in the current section. So basically, which means that after you have called commit instead of query, that all the work that you've done before, it's now not able to roll back. Not rollbackable. Is that a word? Rollbackable. So like now you can't roll back to it. So it's just like a way of like, okay, I've done all this work. I want to save it. I want to push it to the cloud, and like, I don't want to mess with it anymore. So this is how you do it. So query, and then so it's quite complex, the query stuff, because because like there's lots of things you have to do, checking other stuff before you can make the commits, set the commit message in it. If it's a file, then it needs to do something, open the file, which it doesn't close in here, which is like, for me, is like I am not comfortable for it to be doing this. So because like I think that is not a good idea, because like recently I'm listening to pragmatic programming, so it's kind of like a book about like some good practices in like software development and stuff. And then like if you like open in this scope, you should close it in this scope. But now it's just like open it and pass it to somewhere else. Like, no, it's like let an open file hanging there. Like, where will you collect the garbage and the stuff? So we're still struggling with this bit, because like then it will be another big rewrite. So we may come back to it, but I think that's it for this week. I mean, like, we'll see where it got close in a bit. So this thing got passed in dispatch JSON. So it's a dispatch, and basically I think we have changed, like, okay, we'll go through it. But we will pass it into the dispatch, and then if it comes back to have a insert or delete, then it will say that you have made a commit. I'm counting it. So we'll look at dispatch in a second. So branch. I don't know. Maybe I should make this dispatch thing a internal call instead. There's still something I have to tidy it up. So branch is just it's just changing the branch. So again, it's like a post request to change it up. So pull is just like pulling it from so I think if you're using locally, you won't do it too much, but it's just like pulling the stuff from the remote branch. Which is if you're just using local, then you don't have to worry about it. Push, again, like, is something to do with the remote branch. So if you're using locally, you won't do too much about it. Rebase is all this stuff are like Git operation actually. So rebase is like rebase in Git. So you have to put in some kind of information about like which one you're rebasing from, just like this. I would say that it's better if we don't put it in a dictionary. We just put it as like the branch. I think that would be better. get rebase from. Yeah, I would maybe have to rewrite this a little bit as well. Maybe I'll do it now. It's not none, and yeah, like if it's like you don't have to check there's a rebase from, because you don't ask for it. You just like ask for a string, right? Just ask for a string. That is the rebase source. Okay, so now this is a string, and then yep, it's a string. Continue. Yeah, you're asking like, why don't you just take a string and add the rebase from for the user? I don't know. Okay, so source for the source branch for the rebase. Yeah, so here it should be just branch. Okay, the branch. And then here, actually, where do I get the arguments? Okay, so I will just change this rebase source equals to a dictionary that is having the rebase from, and then colon the rebase source. Okay, I just make it a dictionary so the user don't have to worry about that. This is user friendliness. Okay. Yeah, it should just work the same. It's just that it's missing right. Key. Yeah, unless it's taking something else in it. But I think even if that is so, we should do it explicitly rather than asking for a dictionary. Usually you pass dictionary for an open, like a user API. You in Python, you only pass in a dictionary when it's some extra keywords argument or something, like, or you're like, yeah, if it's just different variable, why don't you just ask for them one by one? So yeah, this is how I change things up. So it will become a dictionary before it passes into other things, and then I will just do this, and then reset is doing a reset is change the head to a specific path. So this is actually what rollback is calling. So it will find out which commit you want to go to and just go there. So using a reset, actually you can go beyond the rollback thing. But I'm assuming that you know what you're doing. If you're using reset, that's fine, because you need to really find out this like commit, like the commit that you know that you're going to. So I guess go to that point, then you already know what you're doing. Optimize is to optimize some data. This is again like more high level thing. So it's like, yeah, all the operations are in the backend. So yeah, squash again, it's like squashing or like commit. So again, it's like an operation in the backend. So it's just like passing it there. Clone. Yeah. So okay, it's again taking a dictionary. I don't know why it's like all taking dictionary for this. Yeah, like, yeah, I really don't know. Like, it's a remote URL key. So I'm changing it. We can always roll back if it doesn't work or if it's not what it's supposed to be, but I don't know why we're doing it. This should be the clone, the source of the repo to be cloned. Actually, a small, yeah, no. Is it capital or not capital? I can't decide. Okay, remote URL key. Yeah, again, it's here. That clone source equals to a dictionary with the URL and then clone source. source. Okay. Yeah. The source of the source URL of the yeah. Okay. Generating commit is yeah, it's generating a commit message and adding like signing it with the author. Yeah. So this is what it is. And then yep. And then prepare revision control arguments. Actually, like yeah, the commit message should also be constructed here, like the default message. But I think that's okay for now. Control arguments. So you're just putting the author in it. So yeah, like that's why I think like yeah, author is not in as a rec. Okay, so you can actually put in an author in there as a dictionary, but then why you don't ask explicitly? You're just expecting someone would know, and then like putting it in a dictionary. So if you ensure the author field in the specific argument dict is set. So current author value, yeah, it's just setting the author values. It's not provided, otherwise modified. Yeah, this is internal, so I'm worrying less. You could take in whatever crazy things that you can expect, but yeah. And like, do we need a separate function of doing that? And then like we have also another separate function of doing that. Is it the only place that is calling author? Like, why can't I just do this here? I don't know. Prepare request is not doing anything, so delete it. Okay, dispatch JSON. This is where I want to make it internal as well. So this is just calling dispatch. Yeah. And okay, I gotta change all this up into the one with yeah. So what we've done is that we have created this new dispatch. So a dispatch is basically taking an action, which will be one of these four. Performance server, it will be one of the following. And it's for yeah. And then the action we perform, so it will be like, so it's kind of like a request. You have get, post, put, delete. URL to point to payload is like some extra information that you send together with your URL. Basically like options and extra stuff. File list if you are passing a file like CSVs inside. So that would be that. And then are we returning a CSV? Yeah, a dictionary? No, we are not returning a dictionary. We are returning a string. That's why we have the dispatch JSON, which change it into a string. So actually, I would be like, if it succeed, and it will return a JSON convertible string. Return a JSON string that is convertible to a dictionary. That is convertible to a yeah. I don't know why I'm documenting it. It's supposed to be internal, is it? But they're actually dispatched to terminals DB database. Okay, maybe I will make it internal then. But I need some explanation in this one, is it? And yeah, maybe it's okay to have it there and get. So this is like exactly the same thing, but with but it will return differently. So this is just like converting the dispatch into a JSON. So I'll just write it here. Oh, something wrong because I have to indent it. So just with the result as parse into a dictionary. Yes, it's the same, but the return will be a dictionary. Into a JSON string, converted JSON string that is passed from a subset call. I would retype it. Converted from the JSON string that is passed from a successful dispatch call. Right. Okay. So dispatch, and then check if we can perform this action. So yeah, this is the check whether it's secure or not and all this stuff, because we are going to call request and sorry, it's going to rain outside. I'm like, if yeah, so verify. So yeah, we also suppress the warning from request because we know what we're doing, right? This is localhost. We're running it there. Basic yeah. So yeah, this is all just setting the authorization thing that I have no idea what they are. And the action, if it's a get, we would make a get request. If it's delete, we make a delete request. If it's a post or put, it's a little bit complicated because it may be passing in that thing. So that's why I think that this I need to change this because now it should be just a it shouldn't be a file stream that you opened somewhere else because it's opened here. So I have to look back at this and see what's going on. Yeah, and then like it should be a list of the file that's got opened, and then we just make the request, and then this is closing it. Because if it's not closed properly, then we have to close it. So this is just garbage collection. And then yep, and then if the action is not any of those, then you'll be like error. I will reset the warnings because we have suspended the request warning and we want it to be warning people again. Because people may do some other stuff with requests afterwards. So if it's 200, it described that if it's a success call, then it will return the text. Then if it's not, then it would just be an error, and we just try to put the error message in there. But this is a bit tricky. We have to work on it a little bit more because there are so many things that can go wrong, and we have to really think about all these cases and try to catch them and print out what's going on, what are the errors and stuff. So get database, and then this is just getting the database information that you have. So you have to put in the database and account, just like you delete something, and it will just show you all the information about it. So all the metadata and stuff. Get databases is like get database, but it just give you everything, everything that you have access to, rather than just a specific ones. List databases, which is something that I just added today, is that because a lot of cases, I don't care about all the other metadatas. I just care about what are the IDs. So I just, print a list of databases that I could maybe switch to, or yeah, that I could connect to or whatever. Get metadata is deprecated. Don't use it. Server is just a just telling you what the server is. This are just getters, I think. These are all internal stuff. Basically, just like grooming the just setting all these like different operations. They should have different things that you add to your to the URL. So it's just setting different actions, preparing it to send the API call to the server. Yeah, they're all the same. They just do like they're just different operations to add stuff to tell the server I'm doing this. Class frame, this is experimental. No idea. I have to look at it because it's experimental. I don't know what it's doing. Yeah, maybe it's like something that is at the back end. I have to make sure with the team that this is working, and then we can release for people to use this. So yeah, I've made some changes, so now I can run the test. Yeah, it's almost time now. I think I'll run the test, and then if it's pass of you can't see the test anyway. So yeah, so I think I'll just leave you because you can't see me testing anyway. It's been an hour actually. Whoa, but it's like it's almost like a week's work that I just condense and tell you what's going on. So now I hope you have a better idea about what the WOQL client is like, and then if you have any ideas like what would make the core much user friendly, or like what would you prefer, please. Do you know what to do? You know what to do, right? Go to our GitHub, go to this repo, yeah, and then open an issue. You can suggest, like, you can have some suggestion about making a feature request, or if you found that if you think that I'm expecting this method to do this but it's not, you can even like open an issue to say it's a bug. Even if it's not a bug, we won't be mad at you. We would just like thank you for raising this up, and we can have a better check of what's going on. Yeah, just tell us what you think about it, or if it's like even in the code itself you found out, I'm doing it in a way that's super stupid, that there are a better way of doing it. Let me know. Make a pull request. Super happy if I see a pull request. I would yeah, I don't know how easy nowadays like to give you a sticker or something, but I really want to do that. Maybe we'll have another sprint, then we can give everyone some socks or something. I know the socks are super popular. So I think that's it. Yeah, so and then another thing is to follow us on Twitter, and yeah, I don't have much to add. Also, let me know how do you found the format of this stream, whether it's better or not. You can let me know, let us know on Twitter, or contact me on GitHub, our Discord server, whatever. You know where to get me, right? So yeah, I will see you next week then. Bye.